Okay, so now we're going to get to the coconut milk part, finally. So I do this by weight. So I'll be doing 1 part coconut to 4 parts of water. And that water will be coming out of an electric kettle. So it's already, basically brought just to the boil and then, obviously slightly off the boil. So what I'll be doing here is measuring out 100 grams of coconut first. And I'll be doing it in 2 parts. I'll have to do 50 grams and 50 grams just because of the size of my measuring cup here. So there's 50 grams of coconut. And that's going to go into the blender. Get my next 50 grams of coconut rather, for a total of 100 grams. And, this is... I know that some folks don't have a food scale, but go out, get one. Improves your precision. If you're going to all the trouble of making your own coconut milk, get a food scale. So, the next step is I will be going... Oops, get these extra pieces off of here. So next we'll be serving up 400 grams of water, so I got to tear that. And again, this is just off the boil. Measure out here. Let's see how well I can do this. Alright, there we go. So that was basically 2 cups of coconut, and it looks like we're going to have about a cup and 3/4 of water. So kind of gives you an idea, if you don't have a scale, about what kind of quantities we're talking about. And I'll go ahead and pour that in to the blender. Okay. The next part I'll do off camera, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend that for 2.5 minutes. Okay, so we've blended our coconut and water, and that's just off the boil water, for 2.5 minutes. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pour it through a metal mesh strainer. So one point of note, when you are dealing with hot liquids in a blender, do be careful because they tend to kind of splash and you can definitely burn yourself. So we have this kind of mix coming through here. And if you blend that up real fine, it should come out of there pretty easy. Let's see, but I will help out just the last little bits. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a silicone spatula here, and I'm just going to kind of try to press the liquid through. Basically all I'm trying to do is just extract what I can. We'll come back actually after this and strain this a little bit more thoroughly. But for now, this will be our first pass. Okay, so we kind of pressed all of the basically ground up coconut mix into the metal mesh strainer with my spatula here. Now, all of the liquid's really not out of there, so basically the next step in the process is going to be taking this and actually kind of dumping it out onto, you can use a cheesecloth, I just use a dish towel, and basically what we'll do is we'll wring it out. I will, just in case I get any little extra bits through, use it over the strainer. So here we go. Do watch out because the liquid's pretty hot and it does, you'll feel it. So basically you can see here getting a whole lot more liquid out of there, and basically you're just using the cloth as a filter to filter out all of the solids, so you just get the liquids coming through. And I won't lie to you, this is pretty warm. So I'll continue to squeeze until dry, or until you just think you're kind of done. Okay, so we've extracted all the water out of here. It's nice and dry now. Basically, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it back into the blender. We're going to extract it a second time with half as much water as last time. So originally I used 400 grams of water, or about 2 cups. This time I'll use 200 grams of water, about 1 cup. Okay, so here's the 200 grams of water that we're going to add to the once extracted ground coconut. And so I'll just measure this out, 200 grams, which, like I said before, half as much as last time. So about a cup. And what we'll basically be doing is running this for about 1.5 minutes. This is to extract whatever is left over in the coconut solids. Okay, so we are finished with the second blending, so now we'll kind of complete the second extraction. And same process as before, we'll just dump it into the metal strainer here. get out all the goodness. And then when I'm done basically pressing out what I can with the spatula here, I'll follow up again with the cloth to filter out all the rest. So here you go. That's coconut milk. The next step in this process, which is pretty simple, so you can kind of figure it out. I'll just tell you how to do it. Basically, you put this into your refrigerator, you bring it down to a good chill, and it'll start to separate and it'll start to congeal a little bit. It'll start to get kind of thick. Basically, what you can do at that point in time is you can scrape the stuff that's off of the top, and that becomes coconut cream. The water will settle out towards the bottom, and a lot of the coconut solids and the coconut oil will float to the top. So basically, you can condense this into a coconut cream, which I mentioned earlier. You can then dilute it back down. It's just a little bit easier to store, and frankly, it's the best part of it all. The water's a sort of a good carrier, but the real good thick bits are the coconut cream on top. So there you go. It's not really that hard, and frankly, the quality is good, the taste is great. So why don't you go ahead and give homemade coconut milk a try on your own. This is Paleo Eats, episode 2. Have fun, and let me know what you think.